What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, looking at this Last Night Deluxe Barricade that's coming out in a few months, I think this figure is mid. I do not think this is a good deluxe, nor do I really think it's a bad one either. But when you compare it to the CG model for the Last Night Barricade, and especially when you compare it to the CG model, or not the CG models, the previous Studio Series Deluxe Class Bayverse figures from the Age of Extinction / the Last Night more so humanoid aesthetics, you will see that there's a clear difference in quality here. And I don't know if that's because Sam Smith left the Studio Series brand and Evan took over for him or what. Because I don't know, I don't want to assume anything, but I don't know if Evan's more of a G1 fan and he doesn't really like Bayverse like that, or what the case is right here. And my cat keeps meowing at me to play with her, but this figure here, there is just a clear downgrade in terms of just overall look, engineering, and probably quality as well. But that last part with quality, I'm not sure on, obviously, because we don't have it in hand yet. No one does, unless if you're maybe working at the factories here. Maybe they're getting ready to put some copies up on eBay or something soon. You never know. But let's look at the vehicle mode first. It's missing a ton of paint. It's missing the quotes in cursive on the back of the vehicle. I can't remember if it's still "to punish and enslave" for the Last Night. I'm pretty sure it still is. But it's missing that paint. It's missing a bunch of other police vehicle detailing paint. But the main thing that's missing, that is absolutely terrible with this figure, is the "to punish and enslave" paint on there. Like, that is so classic and legendary for movie Barricade. Like, when I think of movie Barricade, I think of two things. I think of that crazy car chase scene in the 2007 movie, and I think of "to punish and enslave." Like, that is just a classic quote in Transformers at this point, especially for the character Barricade. It's just known for him. So the fact you leave that out, a key detail for the character, a detail that really makes the character who he is in the movies, it really doesn't make any sense to me, because no one knows Barricade to be that bland G1 character. I can't even remember what his character exactly is, but I know he's a G1 character. So that is absolutely unacceptable in my opinion. But I will say the overall shape and the overall sculpt of this police car mode is pretty good and is pretty accurate to what we see in the Last Night. But again, it's just missing a ton of paint. It looks so drab and bland and boring and cheap. Like, you're paying $30 for deluxes nowadays, and you barely get any paint on the vehicle mode, especially the paint that matters the freaking most for the character. Looking at the robot mode here, this is just ridiculous, man. Again, I don't think it's terrible, but I mean, you still have a big panel behind his head. This is something we should not be getting with this new figure. That was an issue with the deluxe class almost 10 years ago. At least he's not overly chunky and he looks like he has a Ninja Turtles backpack like the old figure. That's about the only difference in terms of quality and movie accuracy with this upcoming release. That's about it, honestly. The arms, in terms of how the wheels look on the placement, are still inaccurate to the point of how the 2017 Deluxe was. Again, it still has that freaking terrible panel behind his head. He still looks a bit too stubby, I will say. He's not supposed to look that stubby, honestly. He's supposed to be a bit more slimmer looking, but again, it is better than what they did with that 2017 Deluxe, so I'll let it slide just a tad here. But the main issue I see here is, so it looks like he doesn't come with the brandings on his hands, or whatever you call them, where one side said "punish" and the other side said "enslave." Now, this is a slippery slope. I think because of laws, they can't put stuff that says that on there with the figures, which is why during the 2017 toy line, with the control art in the original Barricade Deluxe figure as well, it said protect and serve on those instead of punish and enslave, which, if that's the case, why couldn't they have just done that here? You could have just changed it to protect and serve, just like what you did 8 years ago with that 2017 Deluxe, and they simply did not. I don't get it. And it seems like they're doing a cost-cutting measure here. It really doesn't make any sense. I don't like that they made the figure more inaccurate because they didn't feel like adding that extra detail and then changing the wording on it so they could still sell it and so it could still be semi-movie accurate in that sense with the arms. And frankly, you're cutting out one of the coolest details about that character's CG design. Like, when I first saw he had those, what are they called, knuckle busters or whatever, where it said punish and enslave on the branding for it, that was so badass back in 2016 when we first got his design reveal. Man, 2016 was such a fun year. I mean, if you guys are into pop culture as a whole and not just nerd culture, you will know what I'm talking about. 2016 was a total vibe. But yeah, like when I first saw that design, that was one of the main details that caught my eye that just looked so dope. And the fact it's missing here for the Studio Series figure is quite frankly pathetic. I don't know what they're thinking. Again, they could have just changed it to protect and serve, and it would have looked a lot better with them just having them on the hands. It looks so plain and bland and just like something is missing on this figure now because they didn't bother to add those for whatever reason. It just makes no sense to me. It makes the figure look more bland and look more boring than what he really should, because frankly, this Last Night Barricade design is pretty badass. Do I prefer it to the 2007 movie design? No. Do I think it's as good as the 2007 movie design? In my opinion, not really. But it's still a really kick-ass design, and they took out one of the cooler details in this look for the character, and I just don't understand it. And now with the legs, I mean, it's quite obvious what's wrong with the legs. I mean, look at these spindly, completely inaccurate hunks of plastic garbage. Are you kidding me? That is a pathetic excuse for feet. I mean, that is on par. Like, people love to trash on that 2007 Deluxe 1977 Camaro Bumblebee for having weirdly shaped and weirdly looking feet. But this is the same level of bad here. I don't understand what they're going for here. And it's even worse with this figure now because it's freaking 2025 going into 2026 with this release. And that figure was made almost 20 years ago. And, you know, it was supposed to fit in line with the Classics toy line. And it was supposed to be, you know, it was a bit more chuggified than what they did with Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon and all the later movie toy lines, obviously, because A, they were able to master it better with the Bayverse designs, and B, it was supposed to fit more in line with what they were engineering at the time, and especially be more accurate to the CG renders. I got a full video dropping on that at some point soon here on the channel, talking about why the 07 movie toy line was more inaccurate and more blocky and G1ified compared to the rest of the movie toy lines since. And there's an example for it that you may not be thinking of. But back to these legs here. It is absolutely ridiculous. Come on, sweetie. I'm trying to do a video here. She keeps wanting me to throw the ball for her while I'm recording this video. It's pretty funny. But yeah, if you hear meowing, obviously it's my kitten. So these legs, man, I don't know what they were thinking. Again, like, it's just puzzling to me. I don't think any of this really has to... It looks like some of it folds up or folds together or something, but again, it looks like they could have done something a bit more movie accurate. I just don't understand why the legs look the way they do. It just looks terrible. And on top of that, there's barely any paint on this guy, except for the head sculpt and a couple hits of what looks to be gunmetal gray on some of the car and the robot mode limbs. There's barely any paint detail on this figure. Just more cost-cutting measures, and you're paying $30 for this thing? Absolutely ridiculous. So in terms of the inaccuracy and the lack of paint and even the lack of the accessories, because I think he's missing some weapons that his CG model is supposed to have on him, and I think that he also used in the movie. I could be wrong on that, but it looks like he is. So in terms of him missing accessories, missing details, sculpt, being more inaccurate, having way less paint than he really should, I'm not paying 30 freaking bucks for this. It just seems ridiculous. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Don't want to ramble on much longer. But let me know down in the comments below, how do y'all feel about this new upcoming deluxe class, the Last Night Barricade? Do you think it's a good figure, or do you not? Or do you think it's mid? And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.